We are watching the total death of the traditional file-by-file translation vendor in real time. And honestly, it is exactly what this industry needs. If you're operating in localization and translation, you already know this is a long game, a constantly shifting puzzle of linguistics, automation, and global infrastructure that requires you to stay permanently ahead of the curve. This is Locanuku, localization news you can use. Let's get right into what's actually happening on the ground this quarter. What we are witnessing right now is the decisive end of the generative AI honeymoon phase in the corporate sector. Every board of directors was entirely obsessed with generalist AI, but deploying a massive generalist model in a highly regulated environment carries massive hallucination and security risks. That is exactly why RWS just dropped Language Weaver Pro. They are positioning this as the absolute largest dedicated translation model currently in production, claiming first place in 31 out of 32 languages against both specialized competitors and general-purpose models. It is highly optimized and heavily governed for secure ecosystems, proving that enterprise translation requires dedicated infrastructure rather than contextually imprecise general AI. The spoken translation arena is seeing a similar revolution right now. DeepL Voice just crushed an independent benchmark study, scoring an incredible 96.4 out of 100 in human evaluation. But here is the critical metric. They cut severe translation errors by 76%, compared to the built-in translation features that come native with major virtual meeting platforms. Dedicated language AI is officially shifting spoken translation from a simple convenience feature to critical, load-bearing business infrastructure. To maintain that kind of high-stakes bridge at an enterprise level requires massive operational scale, which brings us to the operational shifts at SmartLing. They hit the Fast Company World's most innovative companies list, largely because their AI-driven translation volume grew by an astonishing 218% year over year in 2025. They hit those numbers by deploying autonomous AI agents that handle the complex routing of tasks, running automated error-checking pipelines, and executing hallucination detection natively. Because of this automated management layer, their enterprise clients are seeing average cost reductions of 60% and turnaround times improving by a factor of 6. And to make these automated pipelines genuinely smarter, Shuttle Translation officially rolled out their generative AI translation function. They are leveraging token-based LLM prompts to evaluate the surrounding web page context. This dynamic evaluation preserves brand tone and SEO performance that standard engines operating in a vacuum fundamentally miss. This technology is moving rapidly out of corporate governance and directly into the public sector. Over in the healthcare space, Bloom just launched Translate OS. This is an AI-powered service built specifically for healthcare enrollment and member engagement, connecting users to translators in over 70 languages in seconds. Built for rigorous HIPAA compliance, it features a national command center for human-in-the-loop monitoring, and they are doing all this while reducing traditional human translation costs by 40%. This exact same philosophy of immediate accessibility is transforming local government. The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power deployed real-time audio translation and live captioning for 6 languages, baked right into their municipal webcasting platform. It features pause, rewind, and on-demand archiving that natively preserves language selections, setting a massive new standard for civic transparency. This expectation for natural, immediate, multi-language interaction is pushing tech into the realm of dynamic conversational agents. Predictive AI is rapidly expanding cloud-rep AI across healthcare, retail, and global markets. They utilize advanced multi-language capabilities that allow their AI agents to dynamically adapt tone, dialects, and interaction logic to local markets natively. Enterprise demand has completely moved away from simply translating scripts to deploying fully localized, automated conversational AI agents operating across voice, chat, and SMS. But who makes sure the AI is actually safe, culturally accurate, and ethically sound? This leads right into global policy, and what is happening in Burkina Faso right now is vital. The government of Burkina Faso has officially launched a state-level initiative to build structured linguistic resources for their national languages, Moor, Dioula, Fulfulde, and Gulmansma. By proactively developing the data sets for machine translation and voice synthesis themselves, they ensure their emerging digital infrastructure reflects their actual cultural reality and includes under-resourced indigenous languages. Building the models is only half the battle. Securing them is the other. The OWASP GenAI Security Project just released its Red Teaming Solutions Landscape. This rigorous framework assesses the safety posture of AI tools, making comprehensive security evaluations a mandatory procurement requirement for localization platforms. And alongside robust security, we are finally measuring genuine reasoning capability. The ARC Prize Foundation launched the ARC AGI-3 benchmark, a new interactive tool designed specifically to measure multi-step generalization in AI systems. This is going to heavily influence model selection by proving whether an AI possesses the cognitive flexibility to genuinely reason through complex, production-level localization challenges. The human element of this industry is adjusting just as aggressively. Look at the major executive moves. Questo, a heavyweight in intellectual property translation, just named Frederick Bailliere as their new CEO. Backed by major investment groups Eurazeo and IK Partners, a leadership change at this level almost universally precedes major technology acquisitions and market consolidation within the high-fidelity legal localization space. UPRET named Mikko Koponen as CEO, while their co-founder transitions to full-time CTO, actively balancing remote interpreting with automated machine workflows. Academia is reacting immediately. The Zurich University of Applied Sciences appointed Alice Delorme Benitez as the new head of the Department of Applied Linguistics. Her curriculum is laser-focused on bridging the gap between utilizing language AI for workflow optimization and understanding exactly where human expertise remains absolutely indispensable. The job market reflects this curriculum shift right now. The European Parliament launched a call for proofreaders and language editors across 12 EU languages, specifically requiring the rigorous verification of AI-translated and transcribed multimedia content. In the media localization sector, Alkanost highlighted a massive surge in demand for localizing playable ads for mobile games. This shift to interactive formats requires faster iteration cycles and highly localized UI logic. While interactive ads demand new engineering skills, traditional media is fighting to protect its craft. A SAG-AFTRA Foundation session heavily emphasized that human anime dubbing expertise remains utterly essential, even amidst the explosive growth of AI dubbing. Scott McCarthy's analysis of the dubbing pyramid perfectly frames this. Traditional human dubbing sits at the premium top, and fully automated AI dubbing sits at the high-volume bottom. This pyramid has remained static because audience expectations are deeply tied to emotional nuance and creative intent. The future shape of media localization depends entirely on transparent AI disclosures. Perception, not just technical quality, drives consumer acceptance. This brings us to how professionals on the ground are actually building these pipelines. Industry veteran Diego Crescieri points out that the traditional buyer-vendor relationship, operating on a purely transactional, file-by-file basis, is breaking down completely. Buyers don't want to buy words anymore. They demand reliable, low-risk infrastructure. Growing companies require an embedded model where localization acts as a continuous, always-on operational function. In this setup, language partners participate in early planning and provide specialized redundancy across dozens of markets simultaneously. Here are your crucial takeaways. Stop treating generative AI as a monolithic magic bullet. The future of enterprise localization relies entirely on dedicated, highly governed models and token-based contextual awareness. Transition your operations from a transactional vendor to an embedded architectural partner. Build your brilliant basics and fix your documentation architecture before you deploy automation. And finally, recognize that while automated pipelines handle the sheer volume, trained human expertise remains the absolute critical firewall for legal compliance, ethical integrity, and premium emotional resonance. And this was your industry update from Locanuku, localization news you can use.